So, you want to play Earth. Earth is a very fun element that relies on high burst damage and high burst mobility. It's fun stuff you can do from just climbing around with Earth hands or launching yourself up with Earth walls. However, mastering this element is hard, which is why I'm here to help you master Earth and this Earth Guide tutorial. But before we get into the fun stuff, we have to go over the basics. Boulder does 2 damage uncharged and 4 damage charged. Wall does max 3 damage uncharged and a max 5 damage charged. Earth Spear and Earth Saw each have a maximum of 5 bars. Earth Wall Detach and Earth Punch are really their own. They aren't really actual moves that you do damage with. Earth Pillar does around 3 bars, same as Uncharged Wall. Earth Spikes does around 2 bars. Earth Hammer does around 5 bars. Earth Trap does around 2 bars. And the maximum Earth Smash can do, I believe, is around 5 bars. And Earth Hand does 2 bars. Forgot to record this in the initial bit. Now for the grounded playstyle, I definitely recommend having Stone Stance on. It gives you 35% more damage while grounded, and you take 50% less knockback. You do have a minus 10% walk speed that's not really a whole lot, and you barely notice it. Now what you use next is up to you. However, I do recommend either more health, since that makes you more of a tank, or if you really want to be risky, double-edged. This gives you a huge damage boost that is nearly overpowered. However, you do take a lot more damage, so it's up to your own discretion. Now, there's 2 different playstyles you can have while being grounded. Defense and offense. Earth Wall is your main source of defense, mobility, and attack. With the ground playstyle, you will always have access to one, so it's important to know how to use it. The Earth Wall should always be charged, as it only takes around 2 seconds to charge it and is much more durable and has much higher attack power, having 5 bars base instead of 3 and be able to block much more attacks. When being defensive, the Earth Wall allows you to hang back behind your cover and strike at the best time. When you feel like you need to strike, there's a very helpful tool for accomplishing this goal, and it's called Earth Wall Stasis. Is the act of still holding an Earth Wall while it is in midair. It's a very helpful way to throw an Earth Wall while on the ground. It allows 2 things. Straight throws, holding it while midair stabilizes it and makes it go in a straight line instead of an arc. And redirection, allows you to redirect your wall into a different direction, meaning that even if you miss, you still have another chance to get hit in. Use this thing. Grab onto it with one hand, punch it with the other, then using the hand that you grab it down with, you throw it in midair. It's that simple. Stasis is also very good at hitting midair opponents due to the straight throw and redirection, allowing you to stay where you're most effective, punch airborne targets, and even block the projectiles from above that they may be throwing down. Now, this is a good way to land hits while being defensive, but what about offensive? May I introduce you to Earth Wall Run. Earth Wall Run is when you bring an Earth Wall behind you and push forward. It makes you go pretty quick and close down the distance between you and your opponent. Even better, this allows you to attach the wall after you hit them with it, dealing good damage. You can even summon a new one and when close if needed. Earth Hands are another good movement option for withstanding your opponents. They allow you to remain unpredictable in movement and be very fast. Once you're near it, you can throw them for more damage and summon an Earth Wall. Even better, these options both play into the defensive playstyle as well, allowing you to escape from foes. To conclude this section of the video, being defensive on Earth is good since your walls can block a decent amount of stuff and allow you to open it with a counterattack, while being aggressive is good since you have the high burst damage and high burst mobility to be putting pressure on your opponents. It's mainly up to what you feel is best in the moment. Now onto the other stuff in Earth's kit. Earth doesn't have the biggest kit, but all the moves are still worthwhile and good to know how to use. Earth Rocket's variants are often overshadowed by its older cousin, the Wall, but they're still pretty good. The Rock's a small and nimble projectile that can be thrown quickly for some surprise tag damage, not being as readable as using a wall, allowing you to stay back a bit more. The Spear and Saw are useful in similar use cases, but they do a bit more damage, but they're just harder to hit than the Rock. Now they're both good in Stasis, but I will say that Saw is slightly better in Stasis due to the bigger projectile hitbox. You can get them to get around enemy cover, or to hit them by surprise, as it's not as readable as a wall since it isn't nearly as big. However, you will need to practice aim with them. Trap is a good spammable option on Earth that allows you to send traps to the ground. It's really good on the ground playstyle as it allows you to capitalize off your opponent being stuck where you're most effective, the ground. And also be a good way to get quick damage on your opponent and keep them on their toes. A good way to capitalize off this damage is to trap them and launch yourself into the air with an earth wall and push it forward. While this is an aerial move, you don't always want to be stuck to the ground while on Earth. If you see an option where being aerial is better, take it if you are being grounded. A couple other ways to capitalize on this is throw a rock at them. Throw more earth traps on them, as this can melt their health. Or use spear or something. And now on to hammer. The hammer, while being hard to throw, is a 5 damage projectile that does not need to be charged, if you get direct hit. If it doesn't hit, it usually does does the AoE effect, it usually does around 2 to 3 moves. It's also an aerial projectile that can summon in midair, which leads me to my next point. Aerial playstyle on Earth. Now this is what I use on Earth. It takes away the comfort a bit of the ground to launch yourself into the skies for better angles, more damage, and being harder to hit. And also better combos. However, you are trading away some of your defense for this, and it's very risk-reward as you have very little aerial mobility behind your dashes. If you miss your wall, your only attack option is the previously mentioned hard-to-hit hammer. But the upsides are still pretty good, so let's get into techniques. The first thing with the aerial playstyle you want to do is equip aerial blade air. It's usually the best option you want to have for aerial playstyle since it gives you 50% more wall damage while airborne. And the second one, it's up to you. I personally use Fleet Dexterity because of the low aerial mobility you already have. But if you want, you can use Double Edged. So that gives you a lot more damage at the return of less health or more health. That is always just a good option to have. More health is never bad. The aerial playstyle on Earth relies on one main mobility option, Earth Wall Launch. You can launch yourself in a number of angles. Upwards, by just bringing an Earth Wall straight above. Diagonally, by bringing your arms up diagonally or forward. Backwards, by bringing your arms a bit backwards. Kind of hard to do. But I'd say the most important are either the upwards one, and even more importantly, forward one. The forward launch allows you to launch at your opponent, be aggressive, or away from your opponent to escape a sticky situation. Now how to do damage with this playstyle. The first way. Do a forward wall launch, and fling your wall at your enemy. It'll go quick through the air, meaning they have to move quickly if they want to dodge it. An overall consistent way to get damage in. If you want to, you combine it with a dash to do it again, regrounding yourself after you throw the wall. I like to call this the Earth Wall Cannon. The second way to get damage in. Bring the wall with you throughout the air, and push it to where you want it to be thrown. This can make you a bit more unpredictable, but meaning you have to throw it at slightly more awkward angles. The third way. Bring the wall with you throughout the air and hit them with it. Then throw it at them and hit it with them again. This is called a mid-air combo. And it's a cool and stylish way to get damage in. It also means if your enemy's moving a lot, you could launch straight at them and hit them with the wall. Now, if you're going to be aerial on Earth, it's important to know how to throw hammers, so I recommend bringing it over your shoulder, bring your top arm over your other arm, and as soon as that happens, flick it. This will make the hammer spin throughout the air, going accurately where you're aiming. Now, it's a tricky motion, but it's the motion I recommend, as it allows for precise shots. Well, that one just... okay. Now, you do the same thing in midair. You just aim a bit more downward. As you get better with it, you increase your rate of fire. Throwing hammers is important as if you miss your wall, you're both out of damage and out of mobility besides your dashes. So it allows you to both keep your damage output up and also keep your enemy away from you if they want to capitalize on your lack of mobility in midair. Which brings me to my next point. You are vulnerable while in midair. You are not invincible. Even if you have a wall out in front of you, they can still damage you. And they are very good at capitalizing on your one weakness while midair. Your lack of actual movement. You have explosive damage to get into midair. But once you're in midair, you have to be very careful as they can capitalize on you just being a sitting duck there, meaning you want to hit your earth wall to prevent them from hitting you back. In conclusion, you want to be light on your feet on earth. Always being moving around and being mobile, making you a hard to hit target. This makes up for your lack of defense while being in midair. You want to aim your walls precisely, as if you miss them, you start to run out of options pretty quickly, especially since you don't have any hit scan moves like every other element. Your shots need to count. Make sure to charge your walls. Now on to any common mistakes I see a lot of new players do while playing Earth in midair. Mistake number 1, always launch yourself straight up. This is usually not the best plan, as you don't have much you can do up there besides throw down some easy to avoid hammers. Mistake 2, always making uncharged walls. This is a mistake since they go pretty slowly and don't do that much damage compared to a charged one. It also doesn't offer that much protection, so always take the extra second to make the charged wall. Number 3, never using stasis. While stasis is more of a grounded move, it's very useful in midair as well, for launching the wall out of your opponent's sight line and launching it back at them. While it is situational, it still offers a nice way to end surprise attack damage. Mistake 4, never beating up this fish. Now onto the grounded mistakes. Mistake 1, always making uncharged walls. These offer very little ways of protection and are easily dodged. Number 2, never using stasis. Stasis allows for straighter throws and unpredictable throws. Always winding back and throwing the wall isn't always the best solution and can be easily dodged. Mistake 3, never using earth hands. Earth hands allow you to move around the map pretty quickly and make you harder to hit than if you're using earth wall run. I recommend using them, or at least learning how to use them in case you ever need to. Mistake 3, never going up in the air. I get it, you're a grounded earth player, you want to stay on the ground, but that doesn't mean you should never go into the air. If you see someone who's in the air pestering you, or you see a good shot, it's not a bad thing to go up in the air and launch a wall at them if you ever need to. Sorry, fishing. And this is the worst mistake of them all. For both playstyles, never experimenting. You always want to be experimenting with Earth, seeing what works and what doesn't. This allows you to create your own unique playstyle and be unpredictable in the battlefield. It also allows you to find more effective ways to be useful in combat. And that was my Earth guide. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you learned something new, please let me know. And always remember to be switching up your playstyle to what fits best in the moment. Don't lock yourself to only being aerial, and don't lock yourself to only being grounded. I hope this guide helped you. See you around.
I'm in the thick of it, everybody knows. They know me where it snows. I skied in when they froze. I do not know nothing about no ice, I'm just cold. 40-something milli subs or so, I've been told.